everyone. This is Lisa Andrus, Psychic Medium, and this is your weekly reading for January 5th through 11th, 2015. Our first weekly reading of 2015. And you guys are going to be the first to have a reading from this deck that I just got yesterday or the day before. I got a gift certificate for Christmas that I didn't expect, and I thought, of course, I went to the bookstore, and most of my books now I buy in ebook form. I love reading. But I knew that I had wanted this deck, and then I also got the new Earth Angel Realms book by Doreen Virtue, which I had her, one of her other books, and am actually in her realm reading course. I've been fascinated with realms since I first read the book. So if you aren't familiar with this, I know it's in my recommended reading for gifted, and now this one's updated because she's constantly learning new realms. And in fact, my realm, which is the Atlantean realm, is one realm that was one of the newer realms that hadn't been in any book until now. And if you're curious about that, she does have a realm readers course, and I just knew what my realm was. I can't explain it, but it's just a following your intuition. So I'm not going to get too much into that, but I wanted to show you this because it was all kind of here that I just went and got it. And one of the things that I got, I couldn't wait to kind of go through the deck and use this morning, and you guys will have the very first reading. So as always, I have pre-shuffled the deck, and I feel like that fourth card that we've been having has been good up there, and I felt guided to have that this week. And I will tell you before I get started though that they tend to have a lot of new decks. I noticed Doreen and Radley seem to be deck producing rock stars together, and that's awesome because I feel like there's so many answers that we can intuit with these cards. But that said, there's so many of them coming out. I just don't tend to buy all of them, at least not right now. But I kept seeing this deck on the Certified Angel Card Reader page, or maybe it was Radley's page, and I just really resonated with some of the cards. So I would say that if you don't know what deck to pick, go for that, just the deck that you keep feeling drawn to, even if you don't understand why, okay? All right, for our Monday, Tuesday card, the card is Choose a New Direction. I love the art on these cards, and to me, the card to me looks very much almost like it's a holy mission, that if things don't work out the way that you planned in one direction, you can choose a new direction. Or if things do work out the way that you plan, perhaps whatever is happening will enable you to choose a new direction in life. I've been talking lately about wanting to buy a house, and I have something very clear in my mind of what I want, this area, this type of house. But what they're saying is be open to what your dream is or something better. When they say choose a new direction, they're not saying it to scare you, to say that something's not going to work out. Maybe it'll work out better than you plan. And maybe something such as a promotion at work or a license at work, because I'm actually taking a test on Monday that will get me a license at work that perhaps will allow me to choose whatever direction that I want in my career if it's something that I wish. So that's the thing, is I feel like there's lots of new opportunities that are coming. And when they say stuff like this, in a way, I just heard the word test. And in hearing the word test, I feel like it's a test for you guys to not see the negative, but to rather see the positive. I mean, I drew this card and I got a moment of, I think that it's human within us to say, well, what does that mean? Does that mean that the rug is going to be pulled out from under us again? And I think the challenge for us is to say, the worst is behind us. have faith that your dreams are coming true, and the things that you're feeling guided to are enabling you to choose a new direction in life. I feel like they want me to talk a little bit about the license test that I'm taking in the industry that I work in, which is the finance industry or the securities industry in America, where there have been a lot of unethical people and unethical things. And instead of wondering why, which I've wondered at sometimes, why do I work doing this when I'm also a medium, I'm also an author, but I have to tell you that I love that, and I know that I am guided to do that because there are a lot of unethical people in that industry. So there needs to be some ethical people that work with money, that work with investments, that understand them, that love them, that can maybe even help people with them. So what they're saying in this message is you don't always have to know the why. You don't even have to understand why you're feeling guided to do something. Just know that sometimes your desires enable you to choose a new direction in life, okay? The middle of the week card says, the situation will improve. And okay, so what I'm hearing here is that there are some of us that are going through tough times right now. And you need to know that the situation will improve. And again, they said on the Monday, Tuesday card that the worst is behind us. And so you need to know that things are getting better. I feel like for me, what they're asking me to say is I've been waiting to buy another house for a while because I lost my house in the housing crisis in the United States. And I was one of the early losers of my house. So, meaning that I had a house that I couldn't sell. And so it was foreclosed. I will never forget that. I will never forget the way that it felt and you know how difficult that was to come to that point, come to that decision, whether or not it was meant on a soul level to help bring attention to the housing crisis. It was tough. And I feel like as a light worker, I have moved around a lot. I've moved from, state to state and from house to house. And I've recently said to the universe and to my guides, I want to undo my contract with moving. I'm tired of moving. I want to feel settled. And I feel like light workers, a lot of us feel like we're not settled or we're never content where we live because Earth is kind of a strange place for us to be. It's hard for us to find our home here. And so sometimes we feel guided to move because our energy is being assigned in different places to just improve perhaps the energy of a place, or perhaps there's people that we need to help there. But here I have been. I went through a housing loss. I went through a year of unemployment, which it was a tough and humbling year. It's 4 or 5 years behind me, but it's taken a while for my financial situation to improve. And in that, what I need to buy a house again, because once you lose a house through foreclosure, or if you've had unemployment that has hurt your credit, it cannot be easy to overcome all of that. And what they're wanting to say in this is to know that you're not alone and to know that things are improving. I feel like I'm this close. And if you can imagine me, well, see, I can show you just going this close to, my dream of owning another home coming to fruition. And they're saying that if it's not happening at this moment and you can feel like you're almost there, to know that everything will happen when the timing is right and that you're almost there. Okay? Just have faith. And I feel like just as the person, I'm not sure if that's a mermaid or not, is reaching to the sun or perhaps seeing the light of heaven, so are we if we just continue to keep praying and keep the faith. Okay, for the weekend. Oh, the card is yes. And I kind of stumbled with my words there because since I've started this reading, I've had a song in my head called Yes. The song is called, I think it's called Yes. It's by Music Soul Child. And it says the answer is yes. And so here is our yes card. So what is the first question that pops into your mind? And the answer is yes. I mean, as I say this, I think, what's the first thing that pops into my own mind? And you have to trust. What they want to say is trust yourselves more. Trust that the first thing that you're thinking about or the big situation that you're thinking about, the answer is yes. Even if you don't know how it's going to be accomplished, yes. Now, what they're asking me to talk about is this test that I am taking this week. I feel like I have been studying for this test forever. I have studied and studied and studied and studied. And still I feel completely insecure. Sometimes when I take a practice test and it's not turning out like I think it should turn out, or the score isn't what would be a passing score. But I think to myself, how on earth could I study anymore? What else could I possibly learn? And I've taken tests like this before, maybe not this big. And I think to myself, in the past when I've taken these tests, I have walked in the door to take the test, not knowing whether I'm going to pass or fail, but knowing that I cannot study anymore. Now, the reason that they're asking me to tell you that is because I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I have to have faith that the answer is yes, whether I understand how it will turn out or not. They also wanted to give you that as an example because I've done the work, and as humans, we have to do our work and co-create with Spirit, and then let Spirit take over. And in the other instance with the situation will improve when I talked about my housing situation. Now, since then, I've been working my ass off to improve my finances, my credit, my everything, knowing that the end result was someday I wanted to buy another house. And that's another example of co-creating with Spirit, that life was not always meant to be easy, but the answer is yes, your dreams are coming true. I also hear romance. There are some very lonely hearts right now. I can just feel that. We're at an interesting time of year where the holiday season has come to an end. And January just can sometimes be a lonely and depressing time for people that feel lost. I know for me personally, because I'm in the Northern Hemisphere and one of the coldest states in the United States, that sometimes I think the only people that have it colder than we do are Canadians. So God bless you. Because I have to say, if you're in Canada, I understand, or maybe I don't understand. Maybe it's warm here compared to you guys. But my point in this being, it is a cold month here in Minnesota. And I always feel like January is a long month. We've just gone through the winter solstice. We've lost a lot of sunlight, and I like it when we get past the solstice because little by little and minute by minute, some of the sunlight starts to come back, but it's slow. And January to me just seems like a long month sometimes. But they want to say, yes, hang on, and know that good things will happen to you. And even if you don't see evidence of how your dreams are going to happen, have faith, keep taking one step forward, and know that if you're guided to do something, it is the right choice. If you're not feeling sure about something that you're doing, or you have that feeling in the pit of your stomach, they're asking me to give you an example of when I think about houses. Like, for instance, I want a townhouse because I don't want to do yard work, and I don't want to, as a single woman buying a house, I don't want to have to worry about the roof and the outside of the house and shoveling the sidewalk. And then I still think, well, if I went with a normal single family home where I did have to do the yard work and all of that stuff, it might be better off in the long run. But every time I think about that single family home, I get that not so great feeling in the pit of my stomach. Like, ugh. And you have to trust that if you're having a feeling like that, whether it's about a house or a job or a person, if it's romance, you have to trust that feeling in your gut. Remember, the answer is yes if you co-create with spirit. Okay? Now let's see what our overlying card for the week is. Okay, so the card is not the right time. Now, I don't know about you, but when I decide I want to do something, I want to do it. And I push forward. And they're saying if you are considering job change, move, whatever it might not be the right time right now. They've given some messages earlier here that says co-create with spirit. And it's not the right time for perhaps the new relationship or the new job or the move. It doesn't mean it will never be the right time. Right now is a time to go within and to know that all of your dreams are coming true. This isn't a bad card. This is just saying it's not a time for sudden movement. Remember, the answer is yes. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me every week. I will be doing the last half of the yearly reading once I'm out of test world here. So hopefully within the next week and possibly next weekend. I will post it as soon as I have it. I want to, again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in with me. Know that I love each and every one of you all. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will speak to you again next week.